please comment, like and subscribe to my videos, and please share this video right now. So I'm going to tell you about a dream I had. Two dreams, in fact. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you about a dream I had about 24 years ago. It's a long time ago, but I still remember it so clearly because it's definitely from the Lord, and you'll see why in a minute. In this dream, I was in a church and a certain person was preaching at the front. Now this amazing man of God has now recently died, which I believe could be a sign for this dream to take place. So in this dream there were some people being filled with the Holy Spirit behind me, and from that corner came a wave of the fire of God, and this wave was like the fire that comes from oil, which is significant because oil is a symbol of the Holy Spirit. So this wave came and hit me in my dream, but not just in my dream, it hit me to the other side of the bed and woke me up. And I woke up in fear and trembling of the awe of the power of God. Now I didn't know the interpretation of this dream. I was only a young Christian. I didn't know what the heck it was really about. But this certain man of God, he said that there was going to come a revival to the church, and it would come with fire, and it would be a fear of God being restored to the church. And the fear of God is just not the beginning of wisdom, but also the fear of God will help you keep from sin and doing what's wrong, or just keep on the straight path of God. So we've been longing for this to happen. Now, a few years after that, about 10 years after that, there came a video. Back then it was a video. And it was a video of a revival in this certain town in an Inuit community. Now, in this Inuit community, there was a very bad times going on. People were like getting drunk all the time, taking drugs, and they were into satanic things. And nearly the whole town were into this. But God set a revival in that town, and nearly the whole town came to the Lord. And one night they were in a church, and they were repenting, and people were repenting and bringing their satanic things up front to be burned. And suddenly there was this sound, what they described like a jumbo jet, and it was a roar of power and fire that came upon the church. And you have to listen to this. I've got it in the link below. You're going to be amazed. They had this on tape, on cassette tape, this fire happening, and not on videotape, but on cassette tape. They thought it came from the audio settings, so they turned all them down, but it still happened. So he unplugged the unit, but it was still happening, and it got louder and louder, and the roar came louder and louder, and these guys are crying while they're telling this because it's such an amazing event for them. And the strange thing was, if they unplugged all of the sound equipment, and part of that sound equipment was the tape recorder, but it continued to tape while this was going on. So they had it all the time, and just listen to it, it's absolutely amazing. Anyway, just recently I had two dreams. The first one was of two twin girls, and I recognised the Spirit of God that was powerfully in them, and then suddenly I felt a yearning in my heart, and I started to cry out and really yearn and cry, really wail, and yearning for the Spirit of God. And then in Romans 8, this backs me up. So it says, Romans 8:22-23, we know that the whole creation has been groaning together with pains of childbirth until the present time. Not only that, but we, including Paul himself, we ourselves, all we who are the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly as we wait and eagerly for the adoption of sons, the redemption of our bodies. So that's that dream. And then the next night on that night actually, I've just got to tell you, I had a sense that I wanted to stay up all night and worship God. So I stayed up for quite a few hours worshipping the Lord. So the Spirit of God was already quite strong on me. And then that happened. And then the next night I felt to do the same, but I fell asleep quite quick. But just before I woke in the morning, I had another dream. And this dream, I was in another church, and on the overhead projection, whatever you call them now, overhead video projection, there was a prophecy came upon the screen, and on the screen it said, the revival that was long told long ago is about to come to pass. And everybody in the whole place went absolutely crazy, and it was an amazing feeling, and just like people went absolutely crazy that the revival was going to happen. And naturally that sort of like devotion to the Lord caused a revival in itself, but not the revival I saw in my dream 23 years ago. But the Spirit of God was so strong, I felt that I was lifting off my bed, but I wasn't. But just the sense of God's presence was I was so in awe of His power. Anyway, I know that there's going to be a revival. It's been told by many people, and part of that revival God told me, is also that fire will be a big boot, and God's big boot will boot people out into the streets to do His will. But if these two dreams seem really powerful to me, if they're right, this is about to come to pass. So really exciting times. Cheers. Bye.